from the Global Sources Nerve Center in Hong Kong. My name is Tom, and I will be your host for this, the very third Sourcing Talk with Suppliers live stream. Now we've got a relatively packed program today. We have 4 different supplier guests. We also have one of our analysts, Cecile, who will be talking about the upcoming Taiwan sourcing guide, unless it's already been released. I'll check that with her any second now. And also to look forward to later in the program is going to be Megla Bardwaj, who will be here to preview the Global Sources Virtual Summit, which is coming dangerously soon. So first off, here's Cecile. Good morning, Cecile. How are you doing?
Good morning. It's bright and sunny down here.
Yeah, it looks like a nice bright morning in your background there. And
yep.
We're just bringing you on a little bit right now so that the viewers can see your face, and let's find out a little bit about what are we going to be talking about later.
Oh, we'll talk about how the electronics industry is faring so far during the pandemic. We would also have a look at the coming tech trends in 2021 and beyond.
All right, that sounds exciting. When you say electronics, are we talking mostly components or finished products, or
finished? It's going to be finished products, mostly on computers.
All right. Wow, that is good to know. Hang on, I'm going. Oh, may have. I'm seeing in the tech channel we may have a problem with one of our guest connections. So let's stall for a moment to see if that gets resolved. All right. So I'll look forward to talking to you later, Cecile. So
okay.
Great. Catch you later. Bye for now. Let's drop you from the stream. Catch you in about, I think it'll probably be an hour from now after we've finished doing all our interview segments. All right. See you later.
All
Oh,
right.
sorry. I cut Cecile off slightly quicker than intended there. Sorry about that. Now, yes, the other thing to preview, who will be joining us a bit later on, is Megla Bardwaj, who is running the Global Sources Virtual Summit. Or is it the Virtual Global Sources Summit? There's some debate about that. Basically, the summit is a chance for buyers to meet and learn all kinds of good ideas about how to source more effectively. We normally do that in the real world, alongside our trade shows. And of course, due to the situation in 2020, that's not been possible. So we've taken the whole thing online. And yeah, around about 11 o'clock, I think, Megla, or shortly after that, Megla will be online here to tell us all about it. So if you're interested in participating in the Global Sources Summit next week, or it's over a few days, you can find out all the details of what is going to be in the program by tuning in, or staying tuned rather, until then. Okay, looks like all our guests are back in, or are they? Yes. Okay. So without any further ado, let's go over to begin our conversation about virtual meetings. That's the key topic for today's Supplier Stories discussion. Now, the purpose of this live stream is to talk to suppliers and get their point of view on the questions that matter to you, the buyer, be you working for an SME, or maybe you're a procurement manager for a massive international retail chain. We don't know. Whoever you are, this is intended to be for you. And the best way for us to ask the right questions is for you to tell us what they are. So as we're going along, please do put your comments and questions into Facebook or YouTube. We'll pick them up all here in the column on my right-hand side, and we will put them to our guests later on when we get the opportunity. Okay. That being said, let's see if we can we have our first, let's introduce our first guest before we begin the panel discussion.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hey, good morning. So how's it going? This is Ivy. Where are you calling us from, Ivy?
I'm coming from Guangdong, Dongguan, yeah.
Okay, Dongguan. Okay, that is not too far away from where I'm sitting either. So yeah, that's great to have some local representation. And Ivy is a sales manager for Xingyuan. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your company? What do you make and sell?
Okay, thank you. Our company mainly produces the power adapter and the LED driver.
Okay, and what are your major markets that you sell into overseas?
Our major market is USA and Europe. Yeah, and this year we also developed for South America.
South America as well. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Excellent. All right. So that's Ivy from Xingyuan, and next in we have Mei Lin, who is from Quanzhou, Husan. Good morning. Good morning, Mei.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning.
Hi. How are you doing there? Your line is. Please speak up because your line is a little quiet, if you can.
Sorry, the connection is not good. Hello.
So we've got a slight audio problem on this one. We'll do our best to cope with that as we go along. So you're presumably you're in Quanzhou right now?
Yeah, we are in Quanzhou.
Okay, that's pretty far from here. How is the weather today in Quanzhou?
Yeah, it is quite good. How about you? How about your side?
It's okay actually. It's getting for Hong Kong, it's getting quite cold. Just 22 degrees. So we're all wearing jackets and going, oh, isn't it chilly? But of course, it's not chilly. So okay. Anyway, let's quickly talk about your company, Husam. What does your company do? Can you tell us about it?
Sorry, you mean our product?
Yeah.
We do many promotion products, premium and scratch products, made of silicone, soft rubber, plastic, and lithium materials. How to say, many OEM products we can make for promotional purpose.
Kind of promo products. I see. Okay, yeah, I can see a few of them in the background behind you. Yeah. That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my showroom right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Excellent. And finally, we have. Let's see if we get onto. Hey, this is Karina Xu. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Yeah. Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you. And the weather is very good today. How
That's
about
good.
you?
I'm doing okay. I'm glad we're having this weather chat. So we're all updated on around China's weather.
Okay.
And you are the sales manager for Luan Everpeace. Can you tell us about the company?
Yeah. Yes, I'm from Everpeace. It's a medium-sized enterprise, and we make knitwear products, and we do knitwear for women, for men, and for kids. And during this pandemic, we also make masks. Everyone mask. And it's a tough time for us, but we are now searching to finding new high quality customers now. That's it.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. So okay, interesting to have three guests from three quite different industries, which is great because it means you should have, in theory, interestingly different perspectives. And so I'm just going to remove the bit of feedback. We'll turn May's mic back on when she needs to talk. All right, so. Yeah, let's get this started. So we're here to talk about virtual meetings, much like the one that we are having right now. And so let's just, maybe to get a background on the situation, I'd like to ask, how have virtual meetings helped to connect you and your buyers during the pandemic? And let's go to Ivy first with that. How have you been using virtual meetings?
Okay, thanks a lot for your question. Yeah, this year we started to use virtual meeting. Before we can meet the customer in our factory, we'll go outside for exhibition, but this year we couldn't. And in this April, we have a new customer who had a very urgent order. It's a 20-feet container. Our product is a power adapter. you know, the electrical data is very important. The customer just sent us the deposit in 3 days without confirmed the sample. But the lead time is very urgent. So we have worries about the sample confirmation and the electrical data. How to solve this? And at that moment, we talked to the customer and we said we can have a virtual meeting. We test here with our machine, and you can see as new virtual meeting. And the customer agreed it. So we set up a virtual meeting, and here we tested the electrical data example, the voltage, the current, and the high port, and the ring port, everything for about electrical. And also we also check the dimension of the cases, the cable, and the DC jack. Everything the customer confirmed. Yeah, it's okay. You can proceed for mass production. Yeah. So it's very efficient. We confirmed and the sample tested data through virtual meeting. So it's a good experience. And yeah, so and after that we have more and more virtual meeting with the other customers, especially the new customers. Thank you.
All right, well, fantastic. That's that's very much a good news virtual meeting story there from Ivy. So I'm gonna let me just put May's mic back on. So what about for Chuanzhou Husam? Have you had a similar experience? Have you been doing a lot of virtual meetings?
Yeah, I think virtual meeting enhance our trust between we and buyers during the order process, and speak us communicate the details of the order. Then make the production more smooth and ideal. I think so. I think virtual meeting is very good. Especially this year is a special year.
Right, of course, yeah. The special year has really forced everyone to do virtual meetings. So, yeah, we used to, obviously, Global Sources, we used to do them a bit, occasionally, because we have many offices far apart, but nowhere near the amount that we do now. Let's come to Karina. I'm guessing it's quite similar for Everpiece. Do you find do you find yourself connecting with existing customers, but also how about new customers? Do you kind of have those initial meetings with them virtually now? Sorry, that's to Karina. We may have frozen. Or we're just listening really. Seems like she's lost our video feed. That is unfortunate.
Karina couldn't see.
Yeah, she can't see us. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's reset her video feed. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that actually all three of you have probably had similar experiences, which is, but I still wanted to ask the question just to make sure, so we know what our baseline is like. And I think it's something that a lot of the people watching will also have experienced, this thing of having some use in the past of virtual meetings, but suddenly being forced to do it all the time, which is, fair enough, and not necessarily, the reason for being forced is a bad thing, but moving into virtual meetings is, seems to be proving quite useful. So let's move on then to something more specific. And actually, you've already touched on this, Ivy, which is that buyers worry about product quality. And of course, suppliers do, right? You really would not want to send out a huge order without at least having them check a sample somehow. So the question then is, when face-to-face meetings are impossible, how do you reassure the buyers that your product's quality is high enough? And well, actually, Ivy, you've already told us your method. So maybe let's go over to May. Let me unmute her a second. So for Chuanzhou Husam, how do you use virtual meetings to make the buyers know that you've got good quality products?
Okay, I think we can do like this. First,
Oh dear, so I think the audio from May is breaking up somewhat. Are you getting that as well? Yeah, okay, let's remove that sound until we can fix it. Okay. I'm attempting to operate the control room. All right, Karina is back in. Hi, Karina, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
That's great. Okay, good. So, well, let's put the question to you then, Karina. So, when you can't have a face-to-face meeting, how do you reassure buyers about the quality of your products?
Yeah, when face-to-face meeting is not available, we can use a virtual meeting to show the customer our factory, show the whole factory, show the production process, and show our inspection process to the customer. And also, when customer is worried about the quality, we can show the pre-production sample to them. And we are doing NICWEL products, and NICWEL products is the important things to direct it sell well or not is the fitting effect, and we can show them the fitting effect, and then they can determine by themselves it will sell well or not, and they will adjust their buying plans.
Yeah, I'm very interested in the factory tour. So, have you been doing those kind of live, just taking a phone around the factory? How do you do that?
Yes, we have take a video of our factory and show to our customers, and they will know our production process.
Yeah, I see, and right, and that's yeah. Of course, they can't feel the material for themselves, but they can see how it's worked when it's in production, and that should give everyone the chance to see what's going on. Yeah, I don't know how Ivy has somehow managed to leave the room. If you can still hear us, Ivy, please click the joining link again. You should be able to come back in. Yeah, wow. Very variable set of guests right now. I also can't see May's video feed. Well, okay, the good news for now, Karina, is that you have this segment all to yourself. So yeah. We'll try to get the other two to rejoin us when the connection is reestablished. But okay, so then, since we're here, I'd like to ask you, and hopefully, I think, well, as a sales, department person, you'll have a good handle on this, Karina. When is the right time in the purchasing process to have a virtual meeting? And I guess what I mean by that is, sometimes you should send an email. Sometimes you should give someone a phone call. When should you have a virtual meeting, would you say?
Yeah, we often connect with our customers through email, and but email is not always answered immediately, and but there will be many problems needs to be solved in one time, and virtual meeting is a good way to solve the problems in a time, and I think in the beginning of the business is the right time to have the virtual meeting, because we are not have business before, and if a virtual meeting, it will establish our trust between us. It will establish our trust between we and our customer. They will know about our factory, know about our office, know about our trading experience, and then they will establish the trust to us.
Yeah, and that's
then we can go in our business.
Yeah, and thank you. That's a great answer, and I think it ties back a little bit to the previous question as well about being reassuring the buyer about you, the supplier, and also I guess it probably reassures you that they're a genuine buyer, because, you know, you can, how am I going to put this? Like, you know, you can, if you are a dishonest actor in the business, it's possible to fake some things, but there are things, one of the things you can't really fake is when you're speaking to someone live, you know, whether you know about your business, and, you know, you can tell from someone's answers about your various questions, whether they really know what they're doing. So I think that is a very good point. Let's see, we've got more chat in the production channel. I'm trying to get one of the guests back in. No, still not. So I'm quite interested to see how they're able to use the chat without being on the video and the link. Interesting. I guess that will be solved in the future. So let me see. And I mean, would you say though, Karina, that it's, if you have a really urgent matter, is that a good time for a virtual meeting, or should you just telephone? Like, how long does it take to set up a meeting with all the right people in it, if you have an emergency, for example? I'm not sure. Karina, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I was trying to ask, is a virtual meeting useful when something is very urgent, or should that be, you know, should you just do a phone call instead? What do you think?
Sorry, the webnet is not very good before. Can you please try again? Because I can't hear it.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll fix it in editing. Oh no, it's live. Okay, so I'm just saying. I think maybe virtual meetings are not that useful if there's an emergency. If someone needs to talk to you right now, maybe they should just telephone. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, maybe I agree it. I think a phone call may be a good ways to communicate, but maybe a virtual meeting will be a trade for the future.
Yeah, I think that's certainly true, and there's questions about that coming up later as well. Let's see. Now, speaking, well, that's the thing about the trend is towards virtual meetings, and I think even if you don't want to do them in the sourcing business, you will have to in future. Basically, people are just going to say, "Let's do a virtual meeting." There won't be an option for other ways. Now, for your particular industry, which is knitwear, of course, what are the strengths and weaknesses? Like, are there things that are, you know, very useful for, you know, talking about knitwear, and are there things that you find you can't do that you really wish you could?
Yeah, you know, virtual meeting have many advantages, and it is very convenient, and it will save many time and money and travel cost between us. But in my particular industry, you know, we are doing knitwear, and for knitwear products, hand feel is very important to us. And through virtual meeting, our customer cannot see it. And so we can only send samples and or through face-to-face meeting to solve these problems. And for virtual meeting, and it's really fast, and it's very easy to connect our customers. So obviously, it's a good ways. It's a good method for the future, and it will replace some face-to-face meeting, I think. But face-to-face meeting is also very important.
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm by no means a knitwear expert, but of course, oh, sorry, just lost my earpiece. But yeah, normally at this time of year, we would just have finished our fashion trade show in Hong Kong. And one of the things that you do see at the trade show is people having these meetings with all of the, for example, the scarves in the knitwear section, all laid out on the floor, just holding them, talking to the vendor about, you know, these different options, usually holding 2 at a time, feeling them while they discuss what they want. And yeah, that's not, although I suppose if you send them all the samples first, they can sit there with a box and hold them and talk to you like that, right?
Yeah.
So I suppose there is that. It's just going to be about postage costs for shipping loads and loads of scarves.
Yeah.
Okay, that's go on. Okay. Now we have. Oh yeah, that's again, we've sort of segued into the next question quite smoothly. Which the next item is, yeah, how will you be using virtual meetings in the future? So, you know, in the short term, you know, by which I guess you mean in like up until within next year, 2021, when presumably the pandemic situation will still be in place. And then in the longer term, you know, like 10 years from now, how do you think you will be using virtual meetings?
Yeah, you know, just like I said before, I think virtual meeting is a trade for the business. And I think we will use it for the long term because it's really an opportunity. It's really a good opportunity to connect we and our customers. And, you know, we are a medium-sized enterprise and we have our own factory. But, you know, most of our customers are trading company. It's really tough for us during this pandemic to, because our profit is very low. And so maybe virtual meeting will help us to connect more high quality customers directly. And we can show our products to the customers all over the world. And it will give customer the low price and better quality, and also it will enlarge our business. It will enlarge our business. We just want to have a quick turnover. And so I think virtual meeting is a good opportunity for us in the future, and we will use it in the long term. But just as I said, I think a face-to-face meeting is also very important. So maybe it's a two method and not to replace it complete, not to say what to replace it, one or two. I just think we can use both of it. We can use both of it, and thank you. That's it.
No, that's great. I mean, do you think the virtual meetings will ever completely replace face-to-face? Is that possible, or do you think there will always be a need for sometimes to be in the same room?
Yeah, maybe, you know, because really virtual meeting have many strengths and advantages, and it's really fast and save many costs. So so through virtual meeting, we can save many costs, and that's decided that we will use it more in the future. We'll use it more, and but I don't think the virtual meeting can replace face-to-face meeting completely, because just as I said, for our particular industry, face-to-face meeting is also important.
Yeah, that's true.
But we will use it more. But we will use it more.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, you're right. There are certain limitations to virtual meetings, as we've seen just now. Connection problems can be an issue, whereas in a real meeting, it's very rare for people to just disappear from the conversation, although sometimes at parties. So I think that's kind of bringing us to the end of the scripted questions, actually. in part because we thought we'd have more people in the interview. But let's see. Do we have any questions from the audience? Okay, we do. Great. So let's see what we have. We've got some comments coming in. So Junhin Wong asks, should companies keep immersing themselves in using virtual meetings or related measures after the pandemic? As I believe that solid sampling is still absolutely necessary, especially in the garment or fashion industry. So yeah, I think I suppose, well, as you mentioned, yeah, samples are so important. Are companies going too far in virtual meetings? What's your thought, Karina?
Yes, just like him said, and I thought the solid sample is very necessary during the garment industry, and virtual meeting can show the fitting effect to the customer.
Yeah.
And show the whole fact, also very important.
I see. Oh, sorry, Karina's frozen for me a little bit. So let's see if she can rejoin us in a second. Oh, no, that's another frozen feed on my end. Yeah, same. Okay. Let's see if we can rejoin Karina in a moment. Okay, it's not going great. Oh, almost back. Okay, I think we've just lost Karina as well. I'm going to but Ivy is back, so I'm going to remove Karina and say hello to Ivy, and we'll see who manages to get back into the room. Okay, this is not quite the format that we had planned. Hi, Karina. Sorry about that. Your connection got frozen just as you were about halfway through your answer about that. Actually, since Ivy has managed to rejoin us, if it's okay, I'll go back and ask her a couple of those questions we were talking about before, because I'm sure Ivy is keen to share her thoughts. So now, where had we gotten to before? Oh, that's right. We talked about the product quality and showing samples. And in fact, that's what Mr. Wong's question here is about. Now, you gave us the example of the virtual meeting where you showed your product sample to your customer. So is there anything else that Xingyuan has been doing to reassure customers about the product quality when you're only meeting virtually?
Okay. Thanks a lot for your question. Yeah. In fact, due to we have the time to prepare the raw materials, like you said, the actual sample is still very important. But without the customer, the first stage confirmation, during the pandemic, if we send the sample to the customer, it takes at least 1 week. So in order to save time, the customer confirm the cases, the input cable, the output cable first. And so we can prepare the raw materials. And in the meantime, we still send the customer the sample for confirmation. And about 9 days later, the customer received the sample and confirmed everything is okay. So at that time, we already have the raw material. We can proceed the production. So we save time.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Right, so you have different, right, there are some things that can be prepared without the physical sample. So you can start work on that already. And then, okay, that makes sense. That probably works for quite a few. Good, we can, May is back. Let's add her to the stream. Hi, May. All right, everyone's back again. Hooray. Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, things happen. It's okay. So we were just talking, I think you heard, about reassuring buyers about product quality. Karina was sharing how with knitwear, you can send samples, but you can also show the fit just on video. Ivy was talking about how some things can be confirmed just visually, and other parts done later. What about for Husam? How does it work for your products? How do you convince people that everything is okay?
Okay. For this point, I think we will do first. We make a video or take high resolution photo of the product from different angle to show to customer. This is the first point. And second, we will send real sample for customer to check directly. And third, what we do, we will offer some customer who already worked with us, their company name and their products. We share the new buyer. We share to new buyer, and then they know better. They know better about us and about what extent and what quality we do. And finally, if customer's budget is enough, we accept third-party inspection. They can arrange a third party to inspect our goods. Or if they have friends in China, they can send their friends to our factory to check the product. I think for us, we can do this.
All right, thanks. Sorry, I was
Okay.
cut your mic a second there. So yeah, that's a great point. Thank you, May. Is that a lot of the things that we do, buyers do anyway, and suppliers do on quality assurance, those still work. You just have to do them at kind of one remove, so to speak. So your third-party quality inspectors, they're still based in the country where the factory is, and equally, other buyers are also still based in the country or region or whatever that this newer customer is. So you can do that kind of thing. Ask an existing customer to give a reference to tell the buyer, yeah, these guys are okay. And similarly, if you know someone that's in China, for in this case, they can go and do that local checking, even though travel is impossible. So yeah, while this conversation is about virtual meetings, there are other avenues that kind of project beyond where you physically are. So that's great. And let me see, what was the other? I actually forgotten what the other question was that we were talking about. Oh, that's right, the future of using virtual meetings. So sorry, Karina, I'll leave you out of this one just for a second again. Ivy, where do you see, you personally, but I guess your company, using virtual meetings in the future? So, within the next year or so, and then beyond that, do you see virtual meetings completely replacing face-to-face meetings one day?
I don't think so. Face-to-face meeting is still very important. In this special stage, well, because everyone cannot travel, so we can use virtual meeting. Yeah, and the best way to let the customer trust us is every year they come here for once or twice to visit our factory, and we show their our production line, quality control, and all of the records, and so the customer can trust us. And meanwhile, if we have the chance to go outside, we also visit the customer. Yeah, because it's very important to have communication very often and let the customer understand us, what's the situation of our factory. And it's also very important for the suppliers to visit the customers, especially for the payment is not in cash. In cash, we have to visit them, and so face to face, it's very important. Yeah, thank you.
All right, and also to May, in future, Chongzhou Husam obviously is using virtual meetings right now. What about next year, the next 10 years? What do you think will happen?
Okay.
Yeah, you are asking for May, right?
Yes, for May.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. I think if we next week, because this year is a special year, so we use virtual meeting. But for future, I think if possible, a better customer may reach us. But if in urgent case, we can still use virtual meeting because virtual meeting it's convenient and intuitive, and it also decreases the cost of communication. The customer may doesn't have they don't have to come and take long time. So if in urgent case and if for long-term customer, I think we can still use virtual meeting. That's our thoughts. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So some interestingly slightly different plans there, I think. So by the sounds of it, planning to slightly scale back on the virtual meetings whenever possible, which is very much fair enough. As all three of you have said, there are so many advantages to literally being in the same place that whenever you can do it, you can see why you would want to. Let's see if there's another question from our viewers. Do we have another one, Bubba? Let's see what we have. So Hiram Kitdia says AR and VR meetings will be the future. Well, I mean, that's a comment rather than a question. Although AR, VR, well, I can imagine it. And what's this? How do you convince first-time buyers that they can trust your company via virtual meetings? Well, I think that was discussed a little bit earlier. Does anyone have a particular method for convincing the first time you've met someone? Ivy, you look like you have an answer.
Okay. For the first time, we have to have some basis. For example, before we could set up a virtual meeting. For our company, we have to send the certifications. For example, TUVCGS or UL ETL certifications, which means our factory have the ability to assure your quality, which is safe. First, so we sent them some certifications. The customer trusts us. This is the first step. And the second, we have to send them a good price. And the customer then they will balance what and we are decide to SaaS or not. And that moment, so it's a good time for us to have the first virtual meeting. How let the customer trust us for the first virtual meeting? Here we are the real factory, and we can show them the core building of the factory, and then we can show them our testing lab, our production line, and our QC office, everything, and our warehouse. I think, like a real visit, step by step, we just show them the status, and we do not need to talk much. And the customer will decide, you are the real factory, your certifications are true. So I think the customer will have decision by themselves. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what about May? Husam, similar? Do you have a similar approach?
Okay. We do most similar to everything. I think the most important we show customer the certificate first, and second we show the production line, and then we can show customer our procedure, the QC working system, and let them know how we work. And I think for us the most important is show customer. We can have online like us what we're doing now. We can show customer the production line and online and show the product, the procedure of the product. I think and show them what our big brand we do for our customer. I think for us, we will do like this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so of course, yeah, QCing is quite important there. Although Karina, I guess in knitwear, it's not exactly like quality control in the same sense of certifications, is it? Is it different for convincing a first-time buyer for
Yeah,
you?
I think we should choose a big level to use virtual meeting, just like global source. You can find the quality customers, and you can find high quality manufacturers, and they will choose the best for both of us. And you can say the just like what Avi said, you can see the certificate, and you can see the factory experience, and you can see many things through this levels through global source, and so maybe it's a way to establish the virtual meeting. Just one part because first of all we should choose a big level and to use this meeting, not just for website. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, and also thank you for the promotional part for global sources. Yeah, so that's true as well. One of the things is, yeah, it's easy to do a web search and find some suppliers' website, but if you find them on a more reliable platform, such as globalsources.com, other platforms are available, but I don't recommend them. Then you can. That is a sign of quality. Of course, you still need to do due diligence. You can't just assume that everything is fine because things change. But that's a great point. Thank you, Karina. Any more from the viewers? Oh, we have something. Let's see. Okay. Assad Zaman says, I am working on a marketplace for manufacturing concerned businesses. Right. How can you help? We can't kiss customers virtually. I wondered where this is going. I don't know how are we supposed to respond to this, brother. I mean, thank you for the comment. I mean, I think that's just reinforcing what you guys have said, that you can't, if you're not there, you can't really greet, get to know, shake hands, possibly kiss. It depends where you are. In France, that would be fine. So thank you for that. Any more? Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I think, like you said, we can't kiss the customer virtually. This is the 2 point. But during this special period, we do not have the other better way to meet the customers. So yeah, just for this special stage, we can have virtual meeting. After that, we can still kiss you. It's okay. So let's have the relationship first by virtual meeting, and then we can meet each other and shake hands and have big hands. Thanks. Yeah, it's okay for future.
That's yes, that's an exciting prospect for when the Global Sources trade shows restart. Hopefully next year, we'll see. Okay, any more to come? I'll put a comment in. Okay, let's see what that is. Oh, okay. Let's see. Antonio Tometic, it's very good. Okay, well, so thank you. That's good feedback. We can help to develop the market in North, Central, and especially South America with your company's support. I think that's Global Sources. We're looking to partner manufacturers. We're helping manufacturers enter an open new. I mean, this seems like an ad for his own company, to be honest with you. But that does raise a good point. So thank you, Antonio, for that. If you do want to connect with manufacturers in general, but specifically the 3 that I've been talking to today, so that's Xingyuan, Everpeace, and Husam, you can do that. In theory, their links should be in the description of this video, wherever you're watching it. And even if not, you can go to globalsources.com and search for them, find their homepages, and there's a little box just at the bottom of each page under the product videos and details about the company that simply lets you send them a direct message, and that is a great way to get started. So if you do want to connect with any of them, that is something you can do. Any more from the comments and questions? I'm getting shaking head from the producers gallery, so this is a good time to wrap up this segment. Ivy, Karina, and May, thank you all so much for joining us today. It's really been a pleasure. Thank you for your insights and expertise. And well, we do hope that many of those watching will get in touch with you and do some good business. Thank you again, and goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
Tom.
Okay, so yeah, there we go. Thank you for watching and watching that segment. We're still rolling. Next up, we're going to have a chat with another supplier, which is going to be Michael from Yongfang Electronic Company. But before we do that part, yes, let me do the link here, the link to camera segment, where I remind you that yes, this is Sourcing Talk Supplier Stories, part of Global Source's live program, which is running right through until January, actually, on an almost weekly basis, except for next week because of the summit. And please do keep coming back and watching. We will be announcing upcoming topics with Facebook and with the teasers on YouTube. I think Facebook is the best place to follow us, though, for that, I would say. And make sure you don't miss out. And of course, having said that, if you do miss out, you can always catch up by replaying the video on demand. And you can find the suppliers who are featured in each video in the links in the descriptions. I believe we have Michael in the room now. Let's check and see if we can get him in it. We do.
Hi,
Hello.
hi.
Good morning.
Hey, morning. Nice
Hi,
to
nice
see you.
nice to see you too. Yeah,
great.
that's great. Wow. I see you've got an impressive array of products behind you. Are you in the company showroom or
Yeah, exactly. Right now, I'm in the showroom.
Awesome. And where is are you in? Is it
In
Guangzhou,
China.
Oh, Dongguan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dongguan, China, nearby Shenzhen.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good location. So always a lot of customers visit us from Guangzhou or from Shenzhen or from Hong Kong. It's easy to get to our factory.
Yeah. I imagine it is. It's it's part of that kind of very. I mean, there's a real logistics nexus. That's the word I'm after here. There's so much shipping, very easy to get things on board.
Yeah, exactly.
From all over.
Very convenient. Yes.
Awesome. So, I mean, actually, I was going to ask you to introduce your company, but in fact, we have a video we can play. So, if you're okay with it, I'm going to do that. We're going to go and switch to the video feed, and after we've watched it, we can come back and ask you a few questions about Yongfang Electronics. Does that sound okay?
Okay, perfect. Thanks quite much.
All right, let me see if I can make this work. This is my first time trying to make the video work on the live stream. So,
okay, great.
wish me luck. Okay, let me see. I think it's this one. And I'll remove myself.
Dongguan Yongfang Electronics Technology Company Limited is one of the professional manufacturers from Dongguan, Guangdong, China. We have more than 23 years of international OEM and ODM manufacturing service experiences on wireless and wired headphones and earphones. Since the establishment in 1998, we are focused on designing, manufacturing, and marketing high-quality wireless and wired headphones and earphones. Now, our major product series are active noise cancelling headphones, true wireless stereo earphones, dual microphone gaming earphones, wireless headphones, wireless sports earphones, and wired earphones. In our 6,000 square meter sized and completely equipped factory, there are 8 well-equipped production lines. In all, We have more than 120 skillful and experienced employees. The daily production capacity is up to 5,000 to 8,000 pieces. Besides, we have a professional R&D team for original and creative new designs, including 3D engineers, electronics engineers, acoustic engineers, graphics designing, and more. For all products from our factory, they are strictly checked by our team based on the reliability and safety standards in our standard reliability testing lab. And for most of the products, they are with CE, RoHS, REACH, FCC, sound pressure, KC, and other testing reports or certificates. Our goal is to be your great long-term global manufacturing partner, providing great products and services. To now, we have been honestly and professionally providing original, creative, and quality products and customer satisfaction-oriented services to more than 100 customers from more than 87 different countries and areas.
Okay, there we are. Oh, I'm back in the room. Let me get Michael. So, Michael, hey. Oh,
Hey, hi.
Jeff, that's my earphone again. Really got to watch that. All right, so there we go. That was the promo video then for Yongfang Electronics. So, founded in 1998, I saw. It's quite funny. So I watched the video. I thought, 1998? That's not so long ago. And then I realized it is long ago. I'm just old. So
Yeah,
exactly. 22 years. So yeah, I mean, well, as we saw in the video, so your main products are headphones and earphones. Is
Right,
that right?
yes.
What kind of categories do you make?
Actually, we have a lot of categories, but we want to share with you right now is we have three very unique and hot selling categories. That is the true wireless stereo earbuds, different from the earbuds in the market. We do the earbuds in different ways. Like some earbuds we do with the dual drivers or triple drivers. In this way, it will enjoy more bass and high quality sound. And meanwhile, we have the dual microphone design for the ENC effect. So we can talk with each other about the earbuds with no background noise. Enjoy the high quality conversation. And meanwhile, we also figured out a special category that the earbuds with the gaming mode. You know, the gamers can play games wirelessly. Exactly this kind of earbuds. It with the illuminating earpiece, so the gamers can enjoy the game experience, get the different gaming experience with this kind of driver, the special driver and special the professional designs.
That's interesting. Sorry, can I just ask? So for the gaming earbuds, what are the different requirements that they have compared to a normal, listening to music earbuds? Is it to do with like direction or something like that?
Yeah. It's for professional gamers, the earbuds do have to do something in a different way. The major concern is the latency. for most Bluetooth wireless earbuds, the latency is not so good. But for us, we adopt the Bluetooth chipset support the low latency gaming mode, so you can enjoy the gaming and you don't need to worry about the lag or the latency issue. This is a major concern. And then there's the sound quality. We use 2 drivers on each earbuds or 3 drivers on each earbuds, so it can give the immense sound and make the gaming experience totally different.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I would admit I'm very much a novice in terms of things like esports and gaming, but the little I do know is that lag will kill you in the game, not in real life. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially since sound cues are so important in a lot of games. So well, that's great. And can you tell us a bit about like your what are your major markets that you sell to, and what kind of trends have you been seeing in those in terms of demand for different kinds of audio products?
Yeah, okay. We will share some details regarding this aspect. Since like the radio presentation, we have been in this field for 22 years more. So in fact, we have business relations with customers from different areas, roughly like around 19 different countries or areas, and more than hundreds of different brands. Our major markets is focused on like Europe and USA. Of course, for we also have some major partners from South Korea and Japan. These are the major business areas for our factory.
All right, fantastic. And actually, we have a comment that's come in from a viewer, which is also to do with virtual meetings. I'd like to get your opinion on this as well. So, Haoming Edwin Law has said rather, I believe virtual meetings are good for businesses to get to know each other for the first time. However, face-to-face meetings is irreplaceable. What do you think, Michael?
Face-to-face meeting is irreplaceable, but virtual meeting it works fine. Since you know, for us, we had this kind of experience with a lot of customers. Since now, especially the influence of the COVID-19, we have to arrange the meeting in the virtual meeting room instead of the real face-to-face meeting.
Yeah, you've made it work. All right, so that brings us. I'm getting the 1 minute wrap up signals from production desk. So that brings us to the end of this little slot, the intro to Yongfang Electronics. But you viewers, if you are interested in excellent quality earphones and headphones and low latency gaming earbuds, among I think many other products, judging from the background to Michael there. Please do get in touch with him or indeed his colleagues at Yongfang Electronics. You can find them at globalsources.com or, in theory, through the link in the description of this video. So, Michael, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry we only had time for a quite brief chat. But
thanks very much, Tom.
Thank you, and thank you for introducing your company. Yeah. All right. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. So, a nice little virtual, video factory tour that we have there, which has a lot of interesting details because I had to watch it earlier and noticed all kinds of fascinating devices used for testing and QCing and so on. But enough of my interest in the electronics manufacturing process and more of Global Sources Summit, the virtual version, which is coming very, very soon indeed. And joining us from, I assume, Singapore to talk about it is Megla Bardbaj. Megla, let's try and get her on screen. Any second now. Hi, Megla.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's some construction going on in my building, so if you hear a drilling sound, it shouldn't be too loud. But yeah,
Yeah,
apologize
I think
for
it's
that.
okay. All right, duly noted. So, you are, of course, the doyen of the Global Sources Summit. I mean, well, let's start from the basics. So, if someone doesn't know what the summit is, what's your elevator pitch for it?
Absolutely. So Global Sources Summit is one of the first Amazon e-commerce conferences that was held, that was started in 2016. So we've been hosting this physical conference since April 2016, twice a year in Hong Kong, co-located with the Global Sources exhibitions, so people could actually visit the conference and the exhibition at the same time. But thanks to COVID, we have to host it virtually this time. So the conference is going to be held next week. It starts November 10th. We've got about 25 speakers that are going to be talking about all things e-commerce and Amazon. Do you mind if I share my screen and maybe go through some of the, the topics on the agenda and the speakers that we have?
Yeah, not at all. Let me see if I can add that to the stream. There we go.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay. So yeah, I mean, one of the differentiators of Global Sources Summit or the virtual summit is that it's going to be live, really, really live. A lot of the other conferences, e-commerce conferences out there, they are simu-live. What that means is that they have pre-recorded presentations and then they just play them, during the conference as live presentations. But the drawback with that is they're not interactive. So it's a recorded presentation that plays for, 30, 40 minutes, and then you move on to the next presentation. But Global Sources Virtual Summit is going to be held live, really live, and you can talk to the speakers, ask them any questions. It's more like a classroom environment. It's not really a one-way sort of presentation. And then we also have the first ever China sourcing workshop. So this is a workshop conducted by sourcing veteran Steven Selikoff, who's been sourcing products from China for, 2 decades now. He has a lot of experience sourcing from China. And this is the first ever 6-hour workshop that we're going to do, talking about the ins and outs of sourcing from China, like how to find suppliers. Let me go down to the workshop real quick and just talk about the workshop first. So here's some of the things that we're going to cover in the workshop. So product choice, how to decide what you want to sell, and how to find and vet your supplier, how to negotiate. This is really important. What are the goals of negotiating? Negotiating as a woman. I hadn't even thought that was any different, right? But apparently it's different. Is
Stephen the one to talk about this? I guess we'll find out.
Yes. Stephen is going to talk about this. And then there will also be role play. So it's not really, a one-way kind of recorded presentation where Stephen just gives out tips and advice. This is going to be interactive. He's actually going to do role plays, and then you can actually go and implement these strategies in real life when you're talking to your suppliers. Shipping really confuses a lot of Amazon sellers. So we're going to talk about how to or when to use DDP, XWorks, FOB, FAS, like what are the pros and cons? And then target price. This is also something that Amazon sellers often get wrong because they don't build in enough profit into the price that they source the product for. So this is again very important. Like, how do you set the right price for your product? Quality. When to use quality assurance, when to use quality control, how to do inspections, how to scale your brand, business protection, and then really important, what to do if something goes wrong, like missed deadlines or failed inspections. So this is going to be a 6-hour workshop where you're going to learn a lot. This is Steven Selikoff. He's been sourcing since 2005. He's also written a book, the complete book of product design, development, manufacturing, and sales. It's a lot of good information there. And I also want to cover some of the topics that we're going to be covering in the main summit. So most of the topics are designed to help you succeed next year, because 2020 was a bad year for everyone, or not a bad year, I should say. It was a very transformational year, and we had to really change all of our strategies when it comes to sourcing. So all of the topics and the speakers are really going to be forward looking at the summit, and they're going to be talking about what to look forward to next year, what strategies might work next year. So first of all, we're going to talk about state of e-commerce. We have Simon Clarkson from Channel Advisor giving this presentation, And then we're also going to do a panel discussion where we have a lot of e-commerce experts talking about what trends to look for in the coming year. Brexit is an important trend Amazon sellers need to be aware of. So what to do in terms of if you're selling in Europe, what are some of the challenges that you might face? We also have a couple of master classes during the summit. So first of all, there's a copywriting masterclass. And this is basically a 1-hour deep dive, hands-on masterclass on how to write copy for your Amazon listing. We have a photography masterclass, so how to make sure that your photos are very impressive and can convert your listing. We're also going to be talking about videos. That is such an important and emerging trend in e-commerce. And then selling on Amazon globally. So we have about 2 hours where we have 4 or 5 experts coming in and talking about the various Amazon marketplaces. You know, most sellers would sell primarily on Amazon US, but there's so much opportunity in other Amazon marketplaces. So we have a person talking about Japan, and then Europe, India, Singapore, Canada. So there are about 20 minutes for each of these marketplaces, but it's within, like a 2-hour session. So you're going to get a lot of information on how to sell on different marketplaces. Sourcing quality products. This is, again, super important when you're sourcing from China. We're going to cover India as well. A lot of people are looking to source from alternative markets, and Global Sources, in fact, does have a special section on the website now featuring India suppliers. But how do you manage quality when you're sourcing from India? PPC is, again, very important for Amazon. So if you do master PPC, you can really increase your sales and also increase profitability of your products. So we have a PPC masterclass that is going to be done by the CEO of PPC Ninja. And again, this is a hands-on masterclass where she will actually teach you how to implement PPC strategies that are very effective. We also have a PPC panel discussion with industry leaders, and the panel is going to be moderated by Danny McMillan, who's a very well-respected Amazon expert. And then the last key thing that we're going to be talking about at the summit is an omni-channel e-commerce strategy, because that is going to be a really, really important trend in 2021. Whether you're a small Amazon entrepreneur or a big retailer or any company in between, this is something that you really, really need to look for, because the way people shop, where they shop, what they shop online is changing significantly. It's not only, people are not only looking at marketplaces to shop or Google, they're looking at Facebook and Instagram, and Pinterest is offering shopping now, and live stream shopping is going to be a huge trend. Walmart is also increasing in popularity. We also have somebody doing a masterclass on Shopify. So those are some of the topics that we're going to cover. And lastly, I just want to talk about some of the speakers that we have. So a lot of these speakers are well known to Amazon sellers. So Danny McMillan, Chris Thomas from Australia, Amy Wee, CJ Rosenbaum from Amazon Sellers Lawyer. So we have over 25 speakers from the US, Europe, Australia, India, China, a lot of different speakers.
Well, that's a almost mind-blowingly packed lineup. In fact, it's hard to know where to start. But luckily, I don't have to. I just have to direct people to the website. So yeah, where can people learn more about this? And also, what do they have? How do they get to attend? What do they have to do?
Yeah, so let me just quickly talk about the fees. I'm going to go to this page here. And so if you want to attend only the summit, that is just the presentations, it's a $45 fee. If you want to attend the China sourcing workshops, it's $145. And if you want to attend both the workshop and the summit, then it's $170. So people can actually just go to the website. It's globalsources.com/summit. And if you could display it on the screen, that'd be really good. It'd be easy for people to remember the URL. So it's globalsources.com/summit. And
maybe we can get that in a banner if Brother's on. No, maybe not fast enough.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So globalsources.com/summit. That's the URL to go to.
Okay. /summit. Okay, we're gonna maybe I can stick it in the roundup at the end. Okay, we'll do that instead. You've got to be on your toes around here. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us, Megla, and telling us all about the summit. I'm looking forward to it, and not just because it means I get a week off from doing this. So no, it really does. It's going to be very interesting. There's quite a few of those sessions that hopefully I can get a look at myself as well. Thank you very much for joining us. I will let you go now, and hopefully you can get away from the drilling noise, which is audible but not too annoying at this end at least. So, all right.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Okay, take care.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Bye-bye.
Okay, so yeah, that's right. globalsources.com/summit, your place for all the info and indeed your access to that fantastic online event all about e-commerce and everything you ever wanted to know but were afraid to ask. Excuse me, bit of a frog in my throat. And my earpiece. I've really got to sort this earpiece out for next time. Okay, galloping into the final furlong then. Let's get Cecile on the line. She looks like she's ready, so let's add her to the stream. Hi, Cecile. Good morning. Thank you for patiently waiting. I'm sorry we bumped you to the last slot in the end.
No problem.
All right. You are here to, well, let's wait. Let me rewind a little bit and tell the audience who you are. Cecile is one of our analysts and writers based in our Manila office. Although, are you coming to us from Manila itself right now, or are you outside?
No, outside Manila. I'm working from home.
Just like everyone, I think. And what are you going to be sharing with us today, Cecile?
Well, it's about the tech trends during the pandemic and the coming trends after post-coronavirus. Okay,
all right.
Let me see if I can share my screen.
Yeah, give it a go, and then I can add it to the stream.
Oh, can you see it now?
I will. Hang on. I need to add to stream. There you go.
Okay.
So yeah, take it away.
Oops, sorry. Wait. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me click add.
Yep. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. All right. So I'm talking about technology trends. You know, with the pandemic, there was a massive supply chain disruption, and factories shut down, and there was mass migration to remote work and distance learning. So, although there had been many changes since the beginning of the pandemic, the pandemic actually proved to be a catalyst for certain developments. Okay, it actually fast-tracked our digital transformation, and so now we have leading an increasingly digital life. Okay. So the biggest development in the personal computers have made a comeback. So while they were relegated to the background by mobile devices, specifically smartphones and tablets, they have now returned. And actually, for the first time in the decade, there was an increase in shipments of personal computers. So these include desktops, notebooks, and workstations. Okay. Yes, there was an increase in shipments in second quarter, and onto the third quarter, there was also actually a double-digit increase. And what's fueling this is not just the work from home and study from home. It's just because those users are upgrading their existing PCs to be equipped for video conferencing.
Okay.
For online learning, yes. So, and also because people are staying at home, have more time at home, so they are investing in upgrades for entertainment purposes as well. So it's not just work and learning, it's also for entertainment.
Yeah, that's interesting because, like you say, it was I mean, every time you looked at the trend line for, say, laptops over the last few years, it was just pointing downwards to the right, and it was really a case of managing how much how much less it was going to be. So, do you think this is this trend will level off in 2021, or how is that looking?
Yeah, well, analysts are divided on this issue because they said all the need for desktops and notebooks have been fulfilled. But on the other hand, there has been a shortage of components, so there's a backlog of orders to fill. So many are also predicting with the continuing lockdowns that there will remain demand for these products.
Interesting.
Okay, and this is the first time in a decade that there is an uptick in shipments.
Yeah, it's
Yep. Well, because if you have an old PC at home and it doesn't have a good camera and it doesn't have the software to support virtual meetings, then you need to upgrade.
Yeah. Well, and also even if you don't need to upgrade, I guess if you spend a lot more time with an object, then the things that were only a minor annoyance before suddenly become very, very annoying. So you're going to want to improve your experience.
Yes, that's true. And the biggest beneficiary of the pandemic tech trend is the laptop, actually, because you can take it anywhere. In a home, the setup is very fluid. You're sharing the space with your kids who are studying, and maybe there's another employee, a husband or a child. So the laptop is very flexible. You can take it to the kitchen, to the bedroom, and if you have no more sitting space, you can go right and sit on the sofa with it.
Yeah,
or the
absolutely.
bed. Yeah. Okay. And there is one more bright spot in the PC segment, and that is gaming. Yes, it was actually quite a surprise that there was a bump in the demand for everything. I mean, for gamers, they have so much more time at home. So even workers who are gamers on the side are upgrading their PCs, their existing PCs, doing DIY work to replace the GPU, to install coolers, maybe replace the laptop with a gaming laptop or the mouse and get a really good headset. So there's been a bump in sales on that. Okay. So either they're upgrading their existing units or buying new PCs altogether. And because there's a sustained release, because NVIDIA and AMD just recently released GPUs for gaming. So that will pique interest, especially serious gamers.
Right. Sort of, the pro-am esports kind of enthusiast end of it, right?
Yes, and there's a tournament right now. There's a competition right now in Shanghai. It's an indoor event. Yes.
Yeah.
My son is a gamer, so I saw one of the events.
I see.
Okay. So let's go to 2021. Not just 21, it could be beyond 21. So we have artificial intelligence and machine learning. Is there a problem with the audio?
No, I can hear you okay.
Okay, it's fine now. Okay. So artificial intelligence, it's not new. We've been using it. It's already actually part of our daily lives. So you see in our commute, Uber and Grab and everything. And even the autopilot, that's artificial intelligence and machine learning. And in the long term, of course, future, there will be improvements in how this is being used. So even in emails, even the auto response.
Oh yeah.
You get the instant reply. You can choose from 3 in Gmail.
Yeah. I'm still at the point of finding it a little bit weird and alarming, but yes, I know.
Yeah. So it's very short. Those are really very short, but they're working on having a selection of more complex responses to emails. And then, of course, in education, so plagiarism checkers. I used this one many years ago, so that's AI.
Yeah.
and also rubber readers. This can be used by teachers. So moving forward, it will be more personalized and adaptive.
Right, and who are the buyers that should be watching the trends in this? Is it anyone that's in consumer electronics? So what kind of applications? Let me rephrase that. If I'm sourcing, product category X, if I'm doing, let's say, smart home, obviously those guys should be paying attention to AI. But what about other categories within electronics?
Within the electronics, well, to be able to benefit from this, you have to have upgrades in your PCs, in your mobile devices as well. This also covers actually wearables,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so any device that connects you to a network and makes services available to anyone with a connection.
Right. So something to be aware of for pretty much anyone these days, right? Got it. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So for banking and finance, the same. So most people can now deposit checks, for example, through a phone. Banks have their own apps. So in the future, they're also working on automating and personalizing investment tips. It's like talking with an expert on investment, and
Right.
be
Yeah.
able to decide from your phone, for example, on where to invest. And then for online shopping, everybody's doing this now. So there will be more personalized. So what we see now, that's already application of AI. And for social networking, well, you see Facebook that suggests tags. It can in Pinterest, they can auto-identify objects. And then for IG, these are already existing. And of course, this will be improved further with technology. So for mobile use, the same. So we have smart personal assistants. With the future, hopefully we'll have a Jarvis lookalike or a Jarvis in our phone, in our smartphone. Yeah. So a Jarvis who can recognize guests, who can entertain guests, who can let them in, who can decide, a Jarvis that can, an AI, a personal assistant, it can suggest something to you, right? Make recommendations, not just, prompt you that there's someone at the door and so on and so forth.
Oh, right. It'll be more kind of proactive in its, right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now we move to 5G. This has been being talked about as early as 2018, and some companies actually started deploying 5G deployment last year. And 2020 was supposed to be its banner year, but then the pandemic happened. But actually, 5G interest in 5G actually fast track. I'm sorry. Pandemic fast track interest in 5G because that will be we will have more speed. There will be no downtime. There will be no lag.
Yeah, and I know that there's already a fair amount of infrastructure in place in a lot of key markets, or rather, it's not it's not on yet, but it's nearly there. So it certainly seems like, or rather, no, I mean the reports have shown that the demand is there, and it's basically ready to become mainstream in a way, like as you say, much quicker than things normally would, simply because there's been this pause moment during 2020, and like everybody's waiting to go now. So it looks like it's going to be less gradual, the uptake of 5G for end users. At least that's what I've read.
Yeah. The infrastructure has to be there. So and they were also saying just because it's high frequency, it's going to operate on a higher frequency doesn't mean it's going to be faster. I mean, there has to be a lot of cell sites and it should be less farther apart because operating on high frequencies, they're not good in long distances. So there remains to be we need more developments in this one and real infrastructure. But surely it will benefit everyone, especially for alongside all the other tech developments happening right now, like AI. And speaking of AI, we'll move on to AI. Okay, so AI. I'm sorry. Yes, robotics.
Yeah, it's related, but yeah.
yes, there are. So robots are not only being used in factories, also in assisted living. So they're not going to replace workforces because there are also robotic exoskeletons. You know, you can you put it on. Yeah, you don't need a crane or a forklift. You can reach.
Yeah, like at the end of Aliens. Yeah.
Yes, all the stuff of science fiction will soon be a reality, if not some already are. So in factories, we have the dark factories because robots work there. So they don't need any light. So, you know, it's a 24/7 thing. So complex tasks can be done more easily and in a shorter time. And then there's so also for assisted living, so they're also being used as company to the elderly. They're also used to collect samples. You know, if you're looking for a vein, if you get a blood sample, the robots can easily do that. And then with the pandemic and all, that will reduce human contact. Of course, this will not replace human contact in the long term because we still need that.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Then for drones, it's a little controversial right now because although it can be used to deliver medicines, it can be used to monitor patients, and also for disinfection of a large area or maybe a small area. It will be very easy. You know, it protects medical workers and those who assist.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember we had the Hardware magazine had a feature about that quite recently, the sort of medical use drones on smart sourcing as well. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yep. Okay. Well, of course, there are concerns about safety and versus security because of data protection, and if it's going to be used to manage population. So, sure, for example, in imposing the lockdown, that's still a big question mark. But certainly technology that has been useful so far in containing the pandemic. Okay, and then we have driverless cars. It's part of the automation trend. And so it's still a long way to go because for this to really work, there has to be massive implementation. I mean, yes, to make sure the road is safe and you can multitask while driving and still be safe and minimize accidents, minimize speeding, all that stuff. Okay.
All right. Well, okay. Actually, we are running up on time here. So, any kind of concluding thoughts or predictions for us, Cecile?
Oh yes, to make all this happen, I'm going to dovetail to a little bit of promotion.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So for all this, you know, for all the new devices that's coming up, you need components for prototyping, for tests, and for making actual products. We have a special booklet for everyone. It's going to be up soon. It can be downloaded from Global Sources online. This covers different types of components from Taiwan. So this is a special edition. We do have all sorts of components on the website, but this one is a special one. If you are looking to source from Taiwan, this is the go-to sourcing tool, and we will have that online soon.
Yeah, excellent. I know that, the team has been working really hard to put this all together, and I know that it's been, rigorously done, and, whatever, well, like you say, whatever you're looking for, it will help you to to find the right things. I mean, it should be up in the next few days, I think. Although let's not promise anything too hastily. Keep checking back on globalsources.com, and you will find it eventually. All right, so that's thank you so much, Cecile, for running us through the electronics trends coming up, and for sharing the preview of the Taiwan sourcing guide with us. Okay, take care. I'll speak to you soon, back in our normal day jobs, I imagine. And thanks again. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, bye.
Okay, and that does bring us to the end of this Sourcing Talk Supplier Stories live stream. Thank you so much for watching it. It's been a pleasure to sit here with you for the last hour and a half or so. We spoke with some fascinating people from 4 different suppliers earlier who shared their insights on, how to make good products and make it work when you're using virtual meetings. And as mentioned earlier, if you want to get in touch with any of them, you can find them on globalsources.com or in the links in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go and check out the virtual Global Sources Summit, which is at globalsources.com/summit. And all the details of the program and the fantastic speaker lineup that we have coming up next week will be there for you to peruse and then convince yourself that you want to register for. Okay, so thank you for watching, and goodbye.